Many thanks for staying on the marketplace. Welcome back. Let's now settle for our very first story. And as part of processes leading to lifting of the ban on small-scale mining activities, government will on Friday, December 14, announce a new policy framework for regularizing and reforming mining activities in the country. The new policy follows a cabinet approval for a roadmap developed by the Interministerial Committee on Illegal Mining. There's more in this report.
Speaking at a media briefing prior to an opening ceremony of the 5th National Policy Summit in Takrady, the Western Region, on Sunday, 9 December, the Minister of Information, Kojo Nkrumah, disclosed the new policy will outline 5 key issues bothering small-scale mining activities.
Government will on Friday, the 14th of December 2018, announce a new policy framework for regularizing and reforming mining activities in Ghana. The announcement comes 21 months after a ban was imposed on illegal, irresponsible, as well as small-scale mining activities in the country. Now, while some have speculated a lifting of the ban, government has been quick to correct that what will be announced is a policy framework within which the over 3,000 newly trained former Galamsey operators, as well as thousands more who are interested in mining, can operate legally. The ban was imposed in March 2017 when it was observed that small-scale mining was being used as a cover for irresponsible mining, as well as even illegal mining in many parts of the country. The practice fast led to a degradation of the environment, affecting several river bodies and forest reserves.
Kojo Nkrumah charged stakeholders and the general public to cooperate with government and other state agencies as they roll out the new phase of sanitizing and regularizing the mining sector.
The committee has completed its work and received cabinet approval to roll out this new framework. So the framework that will be announced on Friday will outline the following. 1, how validated and legal responsible miners can mine after the 15th of December. 2, processes towards dredging and land reclamation in affected areas. 3, institutional reforms within the mining regulatory agencies. 4, legal reforms in the mining sector. And 5, efforts to avert a resurgence of illegal and irresponsible mining. It is our expectation that stakeholders and the general public will continue to cooperate with authorities even as this new phase is rolled out.
On her part, Minister for Sanitation and Water Resources, Cecilia Depa, highlighted the extent of damage caused by illegal mining operators, popularly known as Galamsey.
This 5th National Policy Summit is to lay emphasis on state-owned enterprises, as indicated in the apt theme of improving performance in state-owned enterprises and agencies. Ghana, indeed, is back on the path to sustainable development and prosperity, and the world is turning its macroeconomic interests towards this nation. In fact, I must say that for those of us who attend conferences and travel outside, Ghana is the toast of the world. This will not have been possible without the effective inputs by the state-owned enterprises. The Information Ministry has therefore made a timely and right choice of including selected SOEs in this 5th National Policy Summit.
The 2-day event was on the theme, improving performances in state-owned enterprises and agencies.
President Akufo-Addo has assured captains of industry and investors of an enabling economic environment in 2019. Addressing a section of the business community at the 7th AGI Ghana Industry Quality Awards, the president explained that despite a dip in the cedi and high cost of doing business, his government remains resolute to improving the lot of business. There's more in this report.
President Akufo-Addo has given captains of industry the firm assurance of a sound business climate in the country. Delivering a keynote address at the 7th AGI Ghana Industry and Quality Awards, the president assured that a high budget deficit, erratic power supply, coupled with a high cost of doing business, among other constraints, will be minimized. The president also revealed a comprehensive automobile industry policy will be launched to provide clear and consistent guidelines for the sector.
Government will continue to work towards the creation of a favorable business environment in the country to drive investments, domestic and foreign. We anticipate also that the assembly plants to be established by the three global car manufacturing giants, Volkswagen, Nissan and Sinotruk, will become operational in 2019. Ahead of that, a comprehensive automobile industrial policy will be launched to provide clear and consistent guidelines for the sector.
Meanwhile, President of the AGI, Dr. Yawedu Jemfi, stated that industries are anxious to see the impact of government industrialization policy.
It can only change through the captains of industries. You and I must bring the change. A couple of years back, while the vibrant sectors of manufacturing sectors, textiles, aluminum, vehicle assembly, glass manufacturing, and the processing of agricultural products, all these have collapsed, including tomato factories, citrus processing, industries have shrunk, and we are losing the industrial base.
In all, 32 companies were awarded for their various contributions to the economy and society as a whole. The list includes the major award categories and other sector awards, with Nestle Ghana Limited being adjudged the best industrial company. Others were Olam Ghana Limited taking the best company employer and Unilever Ghana taking the best corporate social responsibility company. The AGI Ghana Industry and Quality Awards is an AGI initiative to reward companies and industries in different areas of business performance. The award ceremony is an annual event and marks the climax of the National Industrial Week celebration.
Meanwhile, former Chief Executive of the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, who is also the founder of the Holy Trinity Spa and Health Farm, Dr. Felix Anya, has been adjudged the most respected Chief Executive Officer at the 2018 Ghana Industry CEOs Awards. The award is in recognition of his contribution to the health sector.
Several CEOs in the country were honored for their hard work and dedication to the country. Vice-Chancellor of the University of Professional Studies Accra, Professor Abednego Okwamate, emerged the best CEO in the education sector, while Stanbic Bank boss Alhassan Andani won the best CEO in the banking sector. General Manager of Accra City Hotel, Roman Krabel, took home the best CEO in the hospitality and tourism sector. Former Chief Executive of the Kolebu Teaching Hospital and founder of Holy Trinity Spa and Health Farm, Dr. Felix Anya, in an interview after receiving the ultimate award, advocated a focus on preventive health care for the country if the Ghana Beyond Aid agenda can be sustainable.
One, I think that the health sector should move on for a focus on curative, move on to a focus on prevention and health promotion. I think that's the number one. But above all, what I think about what makes me happy about this is the fact that our growth as a nation, as a company, is based more on the values we have, the leadership we have, and not on money.
He expressed gratitude to staff of both Holy Trinity and the Kolebu Teaching Hospital for their support in ensuring the health of the public is well taken care of. Chief Executive of Gehog Distilleries, Maxwell Kofi-Juma, received the most respected public sector CEO and a Lifetime Achievement Award. He also shared some thoughts.
Of course, we are competing with the world. We want to produce the best product in the world. So we are not looking at, I call it gota. We are now playing at the international fields. with the best. And I tell you, I have my blending manager here and quality control manager here. We produce the best alcohol product in the world, period.
In the insurance sector, Managing Director of the Ghana Union Insurance Company Limited, Aretha Duku, received the most respected CEO.
At the nominees, you'd see that's a well thought through process, and the nominees were really major force to reckon with. I think the organizers have done well. It's a good initiative, and I hope that the momentum is carried on. You know, when I heard I was nominated, I asked who nominated me, because I was surprised, and I was told that I think there's a nominating committee. So I said, well, and at some point I was discussing with some friends. I said, oh, I'll never win, because look, if you're looking at the names, these are really people that perhaps one would say are even far deserving of the award than I am.
Former Presidents Jerry John Rawlings and John Ajikum Kufuor were also given the Lifetime Achievement Award for their immense contribution to the country. The Ghana Industry CEO Awards is aimed at identifying and recognizing the most outstanding CEOs across 19 delineated sectors of the economy.
Now the country could start issuing the single currency for West Africa, which is known as the ECO, from 2010. Ghana is one of few countries that have met part of the criteria for issuing the common currency. There's more in this report.
The ECO was one of the major projects planned by ECOWAS after it was established in the 2000s. However, challenges by some members in meeting some of the major criteria, like controlling budget deficit, delayed its introduction in 2005, 2010 and 2015. However, various heads of states have resolved that even if one country is able to meet these targets, it should go ahead with the issuance. Well, it appears Ghana is getting closer to achieving this. Dr. Kofi Kunedu-Apreku is ECOWAS Commissioner in charge of macroeconomic policy.
We are one of the most successful economies in West Africa right now. Our rate of growth, GDP growth, has been impressive. We are hoping we will continue on that track. We have to be mindful of the budget deficits, and that's our critical issue. And I'm hoping that we are taking cognizance of that, and that is one of our biggest challenges.
But the concern here for some analysts is looking at the structures of the various countries in the West Africa region. Will they be able to sustain the use of a currency, or could it rather come with more troubles?
Let's turn attention to Agric now. And the largest seed producing company in Ghana, the Legumes and Grains Development Board, located at Winneba in the central region, is currently producing below maximum capacity of the 25,000 bags as the company grapples with high cost of power supply. The farmers are therefore calling for support from government to offset the growing cost of seed production. Karen Dodu reports.
It's been 5 days of stirring and drying these maize seeds in the blazing sun. As he patiently waits for his grains to dry, he's also on the lookout for any signs of rain.
It's a tedious work, actually.
As one of the requirements for these grains to pass the test of bean seeds, they have to dry till there's just 11% of moisture left in them. Jeremy Addison, who has been growing maize for over 30 years now, has to depend on the sun to dry his maize. Previously, he relied on the seed company to dry and store his seeds, but currently, he cannot afford.
Supposed to go on drying, but in view of the cost of drying, I decided to use the sun dry. But it takes a longer period to get it. Once I get a 12%, I can revamp it into the cleaning section. The difficult aspect is, the challenging aspect is, in case it rains right now, I will be in hot waters. So it's a risk taking. I'm only taking a risk and praying that it doesn't rain.
The Grains and Legumes Development Company in Winneba is the biggest seed processing center in Ghana. After it took over from the seed company in 1989, the company was doing very well in supporting farmers until government ordered for all public institutions to migrate from the postpaid to prepaid electricity meters in 2014. Farmers had to cater for the service charge of 5 cedi per 45 kilogram bag of maize. Now they have to bear the cost of electricity in addition to the service charge.
All right, so you can watch the full story on the AM show on Wednesday at 7 a.m. But let's still stay in Agric because a Burkinabe firm has agreed on a special insurance scheme for Ghanaian tomato importers and transporters. It is part of measures to help address the incidence of post-harvest losses, especially through accidents and other unforeseen contingencies. A JoyNews documentary, Desert Tomatoes, earlier this year highlighted the plight of traders who travel to Burkina Faso to trade in tomatoes. ECOWAS technical arm, the Permanent Interstate Committee for Drought Control and Control in the Sahel, is spearheading the efforts. Prince Apia was in Burkina Faso recently and has come through with this report.
One of the main challenges highlighted in the documentary Desert Tomatoes is the extortion and accidents on the road. The ECOWAS has agreed in terms with a private insurance company in Burkina Faso to insure both the traders and the goods. Brahim Assisi is the analyst for the inter-regional trade for Sahel and West African countries, the arm that is spearheading the negotiations and interventions.
Two main categories of insurance. The first one is the insurance for the people who are in the bus, in the car, let's say in the truck. That insurance will cover the person who was in the truck in case of accident, in case of death. For accident, if the person is injured, the insurance will pay for the medication 150,000 CFA for all the medical fees. If the person died, unfortunately, the insurance will pay 500,000 CFA. This is the first one for the person. Now for the goods, the tomatoes in the truck, the insurance will cover we pay to the tomato traders 7,500,000 CFA for a small truck. Then 15 million CFA for the big truck of tomato. The big one is 20 metric ton truck. The small one is from 7 tons to 10 metric tons. But above 10 metric tons, I'm talking about goods. The insurance will pay 15 million CFA to cover the loss. Yes.
Chairman of the Ghana National Traders and Transporters Association, Eric Osei-Tufo, says stickers will be affixed to the trucks carrying tomatoes from Ghana to Burkina to identify them as already insured.
The ECOWAS people are going to issue us with a sticker. And because they were normally saying because of people sitting on top of the vehicle, that's why they normally extort so much from us. Nowadays, those people sitting on top are insured. Then ECOWAS too are going to use stickers for our vehicles. At this time round, I think all the extortion money they extort from us will be something of the past.
So, meanwhile, trade representative of the Ghanaian traders in Burkina Faso, Pascal Kojo Tigayere, says buses will be provided to convey the excess of the people on the track to avoid the accidents and extortion.
Because this year we will try to get buses to take the people to the farmer, then they will not sit on the car again. Secondly, we will organize the traders to go step by step. It's no need for them to go up to 50 at the time, and then there is not tomatoes there.
My name is Prince Apia, reporting from Burkina Faso.
Let's turn to healthcare delivery business now, because the Ghana Civil Aviation Authority says it has commenced certification process that will pave way for Zipline to legally begin flying its drones into the country. Zipline is a company that is partnering the Ministry of Health for the distribution of medical supplies through the use of drones. Simon Aluti is Director General of the Ghana Civil Aviation Authority.
The drones will share the airspace with manned aircraft, and you want to make sure that they comply by the rules of the air, by the rules of general civil aviation. So now we have big players like Zipline coming in. They are working with the Civil Aviation Authority. We visited their premises. We are on a joint committee to take them through certification of the drones they will use for their operations. And apart from Zipline, there are several drone operators currently in Ghana. And we're looking at adding additional directives on security and privacy. Most of the directives currently relate to the safety of drone operations, but you and I know that drones could also be used for espionage. They could be fitted with weapons for destruction. So we want to make sure, together with national security, to provide these additional directives on as relates to security and privacy.
And on that note, we draw the curtains down on this afternoon's edition of the Marketplace. It's been great having you on board. My name is Emmanuel Abuaji. We are to listen to you same time tomorrow. Good afternoon.